Bye. I'm here. Let me just stop looping that forever. It took me a little while to get ready. And I haven't been streaming very much at all. I've been doing my Sunday streams, but yeah. I'm gonna redo my thinking on like how to do the peer support. Because I was trying something and I feel like it just got to be too much. And that might have discouraged me. Maybe it was like too much of a rigid structure around this. Yeah, I'll explain. So I feel like where I'm at is that like structure is good now that I'm sort of understanding what that's supposed to even mean. But if it gets too rigid, it's not helpful. Because I need it to be like, I need it to be, how do I explain this? I need it to be not so concrete that it can't allow for a difference from one day to the other, or else it's gonna collapse. Like, it's not gonna be similar enough. Because one day to the other adds challenges and differences. So I need it to accommodate the challenges and differences of every day. I'm not gonna have music on for this one. Also, I think, yeah, there's just hello, welcome in. So I'm working on a slightly modified version of some of the ideas I was already carrying over. Like, I like having themes for the days of the week, but the way I was implementing it was not helpful. Because ultimately it was like, well, now this is getting overwhelming. So I might be back to the thing of like, okay, yeah, there may be a bit of a theme for the day, which I do like. I like biasing certain events towards certain days. You're cleaning up right now. Yeah, see. So what I think I'll do though, I think I was too rigid with it, where I was like, okay, well, I'll only work on it on that day, as opposed to if something's getting scheduled and I have a choice over it, I'm going to schedule it on that day. That part I really like. I really, 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 especially like, for example, it's like, okay, Wednesday is my personal day, so if I ever need a doctor's appointment of any kind, that's going to be put towards my personal day as a bias. Like, when I was studying, I have a new job that I have to get trained for. There's a whole thing. It's a fitness related thing, and I'll put it on my screen in a second. Hold on, but what was I saying? Personal day. Okay, personal day. La 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 la. Oh yeah. So I was telling them, like, you know, like I try to have Wednesdays free so I can do appointments and stuff. And like, and also you need a day off for yourself. It's like, well, that too, I guess, huh? But even starting from the get go, saying like, yeah, this is a day I need, and earmarking days like that is super good, feels great. Okay, hold on a second. Why is this preoccupied? One sec. Things are getting wacky right now. My camera's not acting right. Okay. What is my video occupied by? Is being used by an unknown app. You don't say. Okay, I have, what? I think Herm. Allow me to just futz about for a second. But yeah, cleaning is great. And do it on the days that make sense for you. Don't mind me. But, yeah, I'll noodle with this, basically, is the idea. Where on earth? Hold on. I'm just looking for something. Could have been I left that on there. Huh. Okay. No. Why is my camera not working? Well, that's something different. Okay. I don't have a working camera. That's a new problem. Nope. Maybe? Fascinating. Okay, hold on. Task manager. Is there anything I can close down? No? Yes, no? Okay, I'm gonna close this one. End task. Okay. I feel like that's not it. End task. What else on earth could be eating up my resources? I don't know. I'm so confused. Okay, that's not working. Huh. What if I end task this way? Okay. And now I try again. Did this finally kick the bucket? No, I got it. Okay, we're back. I got it. I made it work. I did it. Just close things and open them enough times, and eventually the problem might solve itself. I don't know why technology is like that. I one day would like an explanation. Because for now, I'm just accepting it, and it doesn't feel It feels like it shouldn't work like that. Like that seems one step above threaten your computer with violence and then it will behave. How about making a fist and bashing it? Yeah, it feels as instinctive as that. So that seems wrong. Like it's from the same cinematic universe as yell at your computer and then punch it. Okay, let's see. Throw on. Let's see. I'm gonna put some little blush on my cheeks that looks stupid. Oh, that's Kirby. That's cute. Is there more Kirby blush? Oh, what's this? Okay, hold on. I want to reinstall my other version of this defunct program though, because I miss it. Even though it's gonna be really hard to look through my lenses when I can reinstall that one, but oh well. Kirby blush. Oh, that one's cute. Oh, he's sleeping. Oh, that's very cute. It's a little blown out though. So let's see, is there a different one? Oh, but it's so cute though. Oh, these are all very cute. Oh. Sorry, I'm looking at Kirby blush. Perhaps you can look with me. Let's see. That's Kirby dabbing. Kirby with sword. Oh, but there's only one. That's pretty cute. I think I'm going to do the Kirby with the little sleepy... Oh, wow, that one's insane. Okay, you can collect Kirby blush with me. Let's see. Oh, am I on stream? Oh, never mind. I did it right. Stream trying to... Nope. And then small camera. Where am I? Where did I go? Where did I go? I never use the large camera. Oh, that's why. What is going on over there? That's not good. Uh-oh. Look at that. That's wrong. I'll get rid of that. Delete. Yes, I want to remove that. Okay, so yeah. So I don't know how long I'm going to stream for. Let's look through Kirby blushes together, and then I will go through Death Shaft bombs because it is very helpful. That one's a keeper. Ooh, so is this Kirby. This doesn't seem like it's gonna be blush. Okay, it just puts a little headbanging Kirby. Yeah, yep. Oh, that's cute. Oh, that one's very cute. It's got the freckles and everything. Okay. Damn, I'm gonna just do this. So, Autism Peer Support is a brainchild of mine, you know? And unfortunately, I am still me. Oh, no, it has arms. That's cursed. No, not human arms on Kirby. Okay. Oop, this one's, it's eating your head. That's good. That's good. It's very good. This one is also Kirby eating your head. Oh, that's extra good. Ooh, that one's quite nice. 10 out of 10. Ooh, it blinks. Did you see that? It blinks. Oh, well. Oh, that's bad. Okay, that one's not good. Also not good. Did we look at this one? Insane. Yep. Yep, that's a mood. Oh god, we forgot about him. Why not? I'll keep this one too. Anyways, yeah, I prefer to be chaotic good. You know, I mean well, but also the horrors, they never cease. That's nice. That's also, oh, that's also very cute. Like, holding a little heart. Very cute. What's this one do? Not a lot. Also great. Big fan. I like this one. This one has a sword. Not that interesting. That's the dab. This one wasn't that, well, I get, oh no, that's cute. He's sleeping too. That's pretty cute. I liked, this was one I was looking at. Where did it go? Or maybe that's that, maybe it's that one. Wait, no, what? Is there two sleeping Kirbys? See, this is not a sleeping Kirby. This one blows you out a lot. But honestly, they're all pretty distorted. Like, this one I don't get to have a nose anymore. That's attractive. It's attractive to not be able to breathe through your nostrils. Because you don't have any. That's sexy. That's attractive. Oh, this is yep, okay. Kirby view. This is, yep, okay. Nope. Cute. poppets, by the way. There's ones that I really like, and I realize they're small enough, and they're basically like keychain ones, and you can just turn them into a necklace, and that's what I've been doing. Okay, so we'll do this one. All right, so that was a waste of time, but that's okay. So now we're streaming on YouTube and Twitch simultaneously to improve visibility, which would have been much more improved if I didn't just like have a totally not streaming schedule at all where I didn't stream. That would have been a way easier way to deal with that. But, you know, hindsight. Let's see. Boop. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to do dash out bombs, which I haven't done in forever. And then, yeah, my thinking is that I can do the themed days I like a lot, but I'm going to be a little less rigid about it. And I also think that other people may experience their difficulties in a different way than I do, because of course they can. So it might make sense for people to organize it differently, but these principles may be helpful for other people. I'm not going to worry about it too much. In fact, I think I'm just going to get rid of this thing, because I don't think this was helping me. I think it was actually overwhelming me. Remove. If it doesn't work, just get rid of it. That's a good skill to have when you're trying to figure out an impairment issue and an accessibility issue. It's like, okay, that didn't work. Next idea. Which is also why I think it's a little rough when things cost money to try, especially if there isn't good data that it's going to work. Poppet Pets Season 2 is the thing that I have, and they're just like, you get like 5 of them in a pack, I think, and they make great necklaces, and I found that this is something I actually do reach for and start using without thinking about it, which is kind of what you want from a fidget. In my opinion, because especially if you have like an alternative stim that isn't so hot, like I have dermatillomania, this I will actually reach for, and it feels as unconscious as the dermatillomania, so that's very, very good sign. Yeah, great. So let's go do dash out bombs, and then I might just like call this a little experiment day and then cap it, because I was thinking of going to this autism women's group, or I don't know, maybe it's autistic women's group, and that's in 18 minutes, and it's seeming kind of realistic that I actually do go to that this morning. Yeah, the things I learned is that I was waking up too late. If I try to wake up at 7:30 and I stream at 8, nope, not happening. I had done it before, where if I really needed to roll out of bed, I could just go on stream as a banana and not have to worry about being presentable. But that is not enough time for me to wake up and situate myself. So I've changed that. And yeah, that's going to be helpful. So I'm going to wake up at 7 so that I can stream. I do like morning streaming, and I might try streaming at other times of the day. Maybe I'll just spend the rest of the stream sort of deciding what's a good schedule. I like asking ChatGPT because I've trained it through prompting on a bunch of stuff that I am working on as my little working hypothesis of what autism is, and ideas that would work to support autistic people. Yes. So let's see here. That's good. So I might just run it by ChatGPT, being like, in light of everything we've discussed, in light of this hypothesis we are testing, what would be a good stream schedule? I think I'm going to do that. Okay, let's see. So I didn't track for... that's not that bad, honestly. At least I did a little bit last week. This is not great here. This is a big chunk, but this could have been a lot worse. Okay, so... No, I did not do that. I brushed my teeth. I slept. I need to take one more medication. If you take meds, take your meds in the morning. sentence was wrong. I meant to say, if you take your meds in the morning, take your meds. That got mixed up. But also, taking your meds in the morning can be really good because it's a lot easier to do it consistently than night for me, and probably I would assume that's for other people. Because if you're tired one day to the other, you might fall asleep at different times, and that can make it harder to keep track of it. Okay. We always get that one. And I showered last night, so I'll just note that. Okay. I'm gonna give myself that one. And I feel like brain stabbies could also denote burnout symptoms, so I'm gonna go in there. Let's see. And I think that's it. Okay, so why don't I just show what I'm doing? I think I'm gonna talk in. Which one should I do? I'll ask in a couple of them. Oh, there it goes. Hello. I am running an Autism Peer Support stream on Twitch. What could Okay, I like ChatGPT because it can consolidate information. It's very pleasant to talk to. Okay. Given the importance of structured, predictable routines and the benefits of engaging in interest-driven activities for autistic individuals, here's a social schedule framework. Can you, if this is provided, since yeah, it does. That is true. It does provide a sense of closure for the week in preparation for the upcoming one. Yeah. As you mentioned, there is a place. Ensure these streams have a clear structure and purpose, which might include specific topics or activities that are predictable and engaging for your viewers. Yeah. Okay. Consider adding 1 or 2 more days for streaming, possibly on Wednesday or Thursday. Allows for a consistent pattern, avoids overloading the latter part of the week, which could be reserved for rest and purpose. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Each stream could have... That might be it. What if I did Monday, Tuesday, Thursday? Review stream schedule and content to ensure they align with your goals. Consider recording sessions for those who cannot attend live. This... Oh, yeah, I did do that, too. Yeah. Okay. Let me think about that. If I add Wednesday and Thursday, I think evening would be better. Would be best. Any feedback on that idea? It's okay. Stream variety schedule provides a nice contrast to your morning streams. That makes sense because then it's balanced. My brain likes that. Evening streams might be more accessible for you who have commitments during the day. If you're in your higher, more stable evening, this could be yep. With stream scheduled for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you have to create a structured week with a clear beginning, middle, and end. This can be beneficial both to you. Here's in terms of routine and predictability. Okay, yeah, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Right. I've been trying to start off for streaming. Allows for rest and personal time, which is crucial for self-care and maintaining balance. Aim for consistent start time for your evening streams is okay. Regular. Okay, yeah, consistent start time. Okay. Evening streams have a more relaxed and informal atmosphere. Right. Okay, that makes sense. In order for community building activities during these streams, the series might be more inclined to engage in the evenings. Oh, yeah, interesting. Just the duration and content of the evening streams to suit the time of day. For instance, lighter or more entertaining times might be more suitable for evenings. Okay. Yep. Okay, that seems realistic. All right. I find it hard to wrap my brain around ChatGPT. I've never seen someone use it for their day-to-day. Oh, I love it. So the thing that's important, so I pay for and have access to, now it's GPT-4. But yeah, when they have newer versions, you can use it. I apparently have a refer a friend code, so that's good to know. And let's see, where is this? Where is it? So my GPTs, what does that one do? I don't know what that does. Oh, okay. So, oh, that's cool. There's a couple new things on here. This one I'm really excited. There's a data analysis, and it helps with vision. I'm like, what? This is amazing. I haven't tried that yet, but that's gonna be great. It'll make me more inclined to record. Does it learn from what you're so yes, it does, but so the way you have to do it, I was going to show you a certain part of this. So you can put in custom instructions. I think you can do this regardless. So I've trained it through here for all of my chats to understand what I'm doing with my hypothesis around autism and some of the ways that I want it to assist me. And then if you have a topic that you want to keep working on, you just keep the chat open and you can always return to it. So different things, different superimposition worlds I've used in here too. And occasionally I'll do a one-off thing. But yeah, you can just keep the chat. So you may need to refresh it a little bit. You may have to be occasionally it will start to hallucinate if it goes on for a while. But the newer the GPT-4 is better at not doing that. It's so I think that's just going to get better over time. But yeah, so even just with the ChatGPT, it's pretty good with being able to use that. It doesn't quite train on it the same way that I would like it to. Like the way that it was trained on information to get to this point, that it can use long term in a way it can't use what you are telling it. So it's not quite as rigid as you might want in terms of staying on task, but it's pretty good. And a lot of it just comes down to prompting and occasionally reminding it and clarifying your prompting Like if you have it paraphrase it back to you and then adjust from there to make sure that it's clear on what the parameters are, it will be able to work with those parameters ongoing. But again, you may need to refresh the parameters. But it does help to have anything that, like, you absolutely want to make sure is always understood and put into the, like, it's basically like creating analogous relationships with the thing that you've told it and what it's already been trained on. So it's like, okay, this is similar to this, so this information matters here. That's a really ugly summary of how it works. But when you interact with it, it's clear that that's what it's doing. That you're like, oh, okay, this is consolidating stuff for me. So you just want to make sure it knows what you want it to consolidate. So if you haven't been clear about that, it will kind of veer off, and it can get unclear if there's another interpretation of what you're saying. It might move. You see what I'm saying? It might like shift over to a synonym that isn't appropriate, and that's why it can be really helpful to go into the custom instructions, and that's what you would want to make sure you lock in there. Yeah. And so yeah, it's very, I think it's very user friendly. I would assume that autistic people might have a little bit of an advantage talking with and prompting and learning how to do good prompting with a language learning model, because like you are more likely to already want to talk about all the features, and it needs to know all the features in order to be responsive to your specific like questions, or because that's really what it's doing for you, or it's basically creating for you something for your brain to then bounce off of. And if you like to do a lot of research and you want that research to be better situated without junk, it's going to help you to do that. It's like going to be like, we're just going to focus on this, and it has a nice database of knowledge that it can then isolate. It won't be perfect. You might want to ask it a couple times on some things to make sure that you're getting the information you're looking for and not leaving anything out. I have really mixed feelings about it. It feels like something that gets useful once you feed it a bunch of data and learn how it works, but it's a black box. I'm scared about privacy at the back end. Yeah, I totally understand that. I think it's so useful that it's just worth it, even if like whatever it might do, because of it's basically people would mess it up, not the AI itself. The AI's pretty rad. Hello. So you're putting your trust in people, and if you have some issues with that, I mean, basically that's the ongoing things of like how ethical are tech companies, and the answer is not very, and should this all be a public utility, and yada yada yada. So it's like those are sort of ongoing problems. But I would say you could also just aim for as much anonymity as you want, as you can maintain. I realize there's some limits there while setting it up. That might help as well. Like you don't, I have mine linked to an account that I don't particularly care if it has access to, but you don't have to do that. Yeah, this is just me wondering if AI could be helpful for people with autism. What does that area of... Oh, I've thought about that a lot, Jamie. And yes, I think the answer is absolutely yes. I have a couple things that I think it can do very, very well. I have a very specific thing I'd like it to do. I'd like to be able to make something that does it, and that's this idea of like superimposition, which I've noodled with quite a bit, and I'm gonna get back into noodling with. It allows me, and now that it has Dolly added to it, I could have the images that I want from my superimposition, so I can imagine it. Superimposition is basically where it's using your episodic memory, which is also mental time travel. It's your ability to use your imagination. I was just watching a debate that's very recent about if imagination is continuous with memory. And I mean, I would argue yes. I strongly agreed with the side that was arguing yes, but yeah, it was also like, the field is, their version of a debate is so lovely. It's just scientists who like each other noodling about like which of these is the best way to describe how our brain is. Anywho, so I'm using imagination memory that is, as far as I can understand, not only intact in autistic people, but our coping mechanism. So like how our brain is able to deal with the fact that other aspects are not behaving or, well, they're compromised in some way, right? Our whole lives, because it's developmental. It doesn't develop the way it's supposed to. So since that happened, something else had to develop in another way that it's not supposed to, that's helpful and adaptive, and that's what I'm trying to tap into. So it's like, let's say there's something you don't want to do. What if we superimpose something you do want to do on top of it that's related to, guess what, your special interest. So creating a world that is situated within your special interest that you can then inhabit. And you can use your imagination, but like in the future, it could be a virtual world. And that would be really nice for us. We don't have to use it all the time, but to get a break from this disconnect from our special interests. And the AI could really make it so that you are genuinely working on your special interests. Like it could find, because that's what this AI is able to do, it could find the relationship between this set of characteristics, and then allow you to have a practical way to work on things relevant to your special interest while doing things that are demanded of you by society. I think about that a lot too. I'm just wondering if the tech is sustainable. Maybe most of the low-hanging fruits are already taken. Maybe useful training data will get harder to find in the future. Think about it this way. Like, the AI is only as good as research is. So I would say that human knowledge is only as good as our ability to employ the scientific method and engineering. And a little bit of that is sort of intuitive, because if something's broken, you learn a lot about how the world works. But your theories explaining it, so your whys may be very busted. So we have to worry about that, where like the explanations that we give that are nonsense can get regurgitated into this as well, because we say them a lot. But if you have something that's just training on data and research, and that's what it's consolidating and that's what it's comparing, it's way better at that than we are. Like it's going to be pretty good. You just, the concern would be that like something implodes in our research, which, the academic structures we live in right now, there's problems already. But yeah, like my only thing is that I wish this was getting trained on research about autism continuously. So that's not so hot, because not there. But yeah, I don't know when they last updated it. They must have updated it since they keep, I don't know. Actually, let me ask it really quick. When were you last trained on data? Okay, I was last trained data up until April 2023. So they did update it, so that's exciting. So yeah, so as long as they're doing that, And you can always, I never delete chats practically, but let's see. Inside my own multi-reality, with my brain orbiting around it, traveling to the end. But when I look outside and get attacked, because low cheese or what I thought it was, I wasn't aware of. I just need knowledge and perspective, because the morals, ethics, my constant search of what is correct and trying to do the right thing, but always feeling behind. I think AI could help you. Also, so Jamie, I have a theory. Let me. Is it too far to call what I'm working on a theory? I don't know. I have a hypothesis that I'm testing in the most clunky way, because I'm just a layperson. I keep saying that, but I don't know. All right, here's my hypothesis, okay? It's similar to some of the insights you would get from monotropism, but I have a different why behind it, and some of my insights diverge. I didn't get it from monotropism, actually, which is really nice because I found out about monotropism after the fact. And I was like, oh, I'm not the only one who's thinking this is what's going on, basically. But my explanation is of the causation is quite different. So, okay. That all aside, I think autistic people are going to need a quality called recursiveness, what I'm calling recursiveness, in order to find something important. And if you have a presentation, for whatever reason, comorbidity, or just how it developed in you, where you're doing more perseveration or rumination and you're getting stuck because of that, that has become recursive. And the AI may be able to help you to find a new recursive focal object, a new recursive project for you to build, even though you've spent a lot of time. The tricky thing is, like, I think we get stuck because when we build something over and over again, it becomes more recursive. And the reason why I think, well, like a quick summary why this would happen in the first place. So we're having to guess about a lot of information we can't see, because that's what our disability is. That's how we are disabled. We are missing information. So the sort of information we can see, we're going to have to infer the information we can't, so that we know where we are and what's going on and make predictions about what's next. The problem that comes up with this is we are going to have to select which information to pay attention to of the limited things we can. And the selection process, I think, is being mediated by a really simple heuristic that's like, this thing keeps popping up, which suggests it's stable in the environment it's in, which suggests if I pay attention to it, I'm going to have a better grasp of the environment, because this is something that is sustainable in the environment. Like, this is something that I can use as an anchor to make predictions. However, that heuristic just becomes like detached from the context, because I think this is like so primitive to the brain, like so far back in the evolutionary tract, that it's not like a conscious process that's very intentionally trying to interface with these things and is very flexible. I think it'd be very rigid and just is going to do what it do, and eventually can get dysfunctional if we start to cycle around something and keep paying attention to it, and then we believe it's stable and is in all of our environments, but really it's not. And this could lead to things like paranoia. This, you see what I'm saying, where it's like we've started to think, because we're paying attention to this, it's stable and in the environment, when really we may be hallucinating that it's there, essentially, or we may be missing out on more important things that are even more recursive. Feels based on defense and being negative. Your experience, you mean? Hi. Just, I want to clarify before I comment so that I understand what you're saying. I guess since we're chatting, I'll stay. I was going to go to this women's group thing, but it was on alexithymia this week, and like, I think I'll just wait till next week, because I don't have as much to say about alexithymia. It would be interesting to hear what people have to say, but honestly, I think for a first topic, maybe it would be better for me to jump in on something that I have a little more overlap with, in terms of like it impacting me. Alexithymia, I do believe, does impact me, but my thoughts on alexithymia are a little contrarian, so that might be a lot to walk into a space and be like, I already have a different opinion. Nah. So I'm happy to stay here. But yeah, my thoughts always shadowed by a background of paranoia, negative worry. Yeah, I've noticed that. I've absolutely noticed that, and that I don't know what that is. I like the self-awareness. That's very, very good. It's possible that you might just have something that's a genetic set point, like that it would have been very difficult to avoid that. It certainly could have made it more likely, I think the best way to think of things is not necessarily as like one-to-one cause and effect. If you think of your brain, well, if you think of your entire nervous system and body and brain and all of your cells, really, but this would extend to like all of you. So all of your cells, and your genetics and your like DNA and RNA or mRNA. Well, anyways, okay, but your genetic instructions, okay. It's like a giant switchboard or like a giant instrument panel, and things are conditionally dependent. So one switch, if you turn it on, it'll turn something on or off. So if you think of it, a bunch of like on-off switches, and the ones that can turn on and off are individual. Some things, it's universal. Like if you turn this on, this is more likely to turn on. And it also goes by like some things will turn on, and that increases the odds that another thing will turn off. Oh, hold on a second. I have to grab something. 1 second. I have an opportunity. Can I get it? I don't think so. Ah, man, that's a bummer. Okay, I'll deal with that later. Okay, so so yes, but also I think at a certain point maybe that's true, but if the switch has been flipped, it may be an unflippable switch. You can't switch it back. So if that's been switched, if you spend too much time mentally time traveling back and wondering if the switch could have not been flipped, that doesn't really serve to get you where you would like to be, or I should say, we don't really travel like a normal person, but to allow you to grow into what you would like to grow into. You've already got that flipped, and maybe we're going to have to noodle with some other switches over here. Maybe your baseline is something you still would like to resemble, like this baseline prior to anything that may have triggered this. But you may have an even better thing you can become potentially if we accept, this just got flipped. So what can happen from here forward? Does that sort of make sense? Yeah. Okay. Having a family that made you feel like no matter what you say is going to be wrong and can't friend always fighting to try and be right, but people never let you not sure. Yeah, around age 11 everything changed, so who knows the old me. Yeah, it's like I think the most positive way to look at it is like, who knows what you can grow into. Yeah, you can't flip that switch. You have to check out dimmer's lights that you can't. Yeah, who knows? And the nice thing about this is like, when one switch flips, right? Like because of how this works in our genes, it's multiple things are impacted by it. It's very complex, but that might have opened up a secret password, basically, of switches for you to be able to activate something else that's really helpful. So you don't know. So we can always like compare ourselves with hypothetical us, but we might actually be the optimal version of us. But that like we could only grow into this because a couple of things happened that were overall negative at the time and maybe have had some lasting impacts that have been negative. But only if that happens would you be able to have this other potential thing happen, on the level of like your brain talking to itself and being able to regulate itself and do very interesting internal processes. So there may be some process that you couldn't have accessed unless if those things had happened, right? So let's look at it that way, and that's probably true. Like that's more likely true than not. It may be hard to find it, but that doesn't mean that we can't, right? It's probably more likely true than not that that's the case, and is the case in multiple directions. So it's not like you have to bullseye the tiniest, bullseye ever. It's probably multiple places that could be true, and maybe some that can happen simultaneously. So your probability is actually high in that direction. It gets a little bit lower about finding it because the way I'm talking about this right now is like pretty new. But again, the only reason I can talk about it like this is like this is backed by research that I'm reading. So yeah. With our switches flipped, it must have an impact on how new different people receive us when they look at us with fresh eyes, not knowing what we've been through. Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, people, I think the thing that's important about autism is like, we will have to do some amount of what's called masking, but we'll have to do a little bit of behavioral camouflage, I'll call it. Like we're like camouflage and masking are also defined differently too. But like I'll just go with camouflage because that it's a little bit nicer of a term and has a nicer connotation in autism, but also I think it gets more to the point metaphorically of what I want to talk about here is like our behavior, our very specific behaviors we may need to camouflage at times because they are distracting to people around us, and that can create antagonistic relationships, and that's just not worth it in the long run. But it's not like we have to camouflage everything we do. It can be strategic, and we don't have to add too much load. And also, if we are going to be doing some camouflaging, I think we should find opportunities to, express ourselves more naturally in healthy ways. Like, we still want to bias towards expressing the healthier behaviors that are natural to us. That everybody should be doing that. Everybody should be biasing towards the healthier behaviors that are natural to you, so you're not overexerting yourself and you're reinforcing things that are within your capabilities, while also being mindful of things that are well within your capabilities that are more than likely going to hurt you or other people. That's the main thing, is that we want to think is like we want to be altruistic as well as compassionate to ourselves. So it's very important for us to know we can stop. That's super, 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 super important for autistic people to know, that there's a really good feeling of being able to stop, and that even though we have a lot of pressure on us, and that pressure is quite real, to conform or to perform in a way that we really can't, and we feel like, well, we're already behind everybody else, we're already, not measuring up, so we have to do it. No, we have time to stop. And then we also need to spend time with that like positive feeling of stopping. And then once we've had a chance to do that, we can make sure that what we're planning and doing is not hurting ourselves or anybody else. And we can find things to plan and do that are healthy as an alternative. Like there's something we can do instead. That's really, really good for us. Especially as autistic people, we are able to understand harm. Okay, so we may not understand all the cues going back and forth, so we may not be able to avoid harmful situations on our end or other people's end, but we understand the harm. We do understand that. We're just missing all of the information that's going back and forth that people are negotiating to avoid that in real time with their extra ability that we don't have. Yeah, they don't know what the reason why they're not explaining what we're supposed to do is they don't know. It's the blindness thing. Yeah. So they don't know because it's completely natural. They have a developmental pathway that's so different than what our brains went through. So they're doing this skill, and it's based on a physical difference in their brain that they can even do this skill. We can't do the skill because we're missing the physical. It's physical. It's a material reality issue. So we're missing the physical thing, or it's compromised so much that it's just to call it the same thing is ludicrous. So we cannot develop the skill with what we have. However, there are other skills we can develop. And well, they're judging us negatively because we're not participating, and it looks like we should be able to participate. So we have a disability this is like the hidden disability thing. We have a disability that is not obvious. And it's because it's in our brain. Basically, everybody who has a disability in the brain is in the same boat as us. It's a really hard boat to be in because of this specific problem. So people actually don't want to like kill us. Like, people don't hate us. Yeah, we're not ducks. We are not ducks. That's all. We're just not ducks. But it is possible for people to like us the way we are. We just may need to be selective about how our behavior is, and be willing to stop, be willing to say, like, you know what, I don't know what to do here. I'm going to have to see if there's anything I can do in this situation that makes sense to me, and I may need to disclose that to people, that, hey, this situation is going to be confusing for me as an autistic person. May I step out of it and observe the situation and see if I can keep up with this, and if I can't, is it okay if I leave? Can I come back at a time when I can participate more successfully? Because it's kind of like it's like they're playing a full-on, like Olympic level sport of a thing we are disabled at, and we're supposed to play that Olympic level sport to participate in society at large, because people have just taken it for granted that you can. That's basically what happened, which is sort of understandable and should help us to feel a little bit better about the situation. Like, it really is difficult. It is extremely difficult for people without autism to understand this is happening. And it's very difficult for us to communicate that it's happening, because it's outside of the imagination of people who have this ability that we don't have. It's very much like, I hope I'm not taking too many liberties, but I do go to congenital blindness as a very good analogous situation, in that, like, it's developmental, it's across the lifespan, and it changes how you interface with the world. We are unable to perceive information that is visual ultimately, and some of it's auditory, some of it's a couple other things, but mostly speaking, the issue, well, everything gets affected by that is basically it. Like somebody with congenital blindness, the way they process auditory information is different. I think that may be true for us, but we're actually missing something that's visual. You have overlap that's significant, very significant, with people who are congenitally blind in autism, by the way. So that might actually be not the same root, and may happen because of missing visual information. So anyways, so if you think about it that way, right, and that's what's going on, it would be very, very difficult for another person who doesn't have this to realize they're seeing things that you can't see, because everybody else is seeing it too. So they assume you can see it. And if we don't understand, we just can't participate. So if people are like, you have to participate, I'm like, look, I know this might be confusing, but this doesn't make a lot of sense for me to participate in. And a lot of times, so Jamie, the problem with that, right, if someone is pushing that on you all the time, it's going to be temporarily extremely recursive, right? And they're telling you to switch your special interest, basically, to be on this thing. Okay, well, I mean, I can always pitch in my 2 cents about a special interest that's already existing that overlaps with that, but I don't know if people want to hear that, because I'm not responding. They're exchanging the information. They're not thinking about it the way you're thinking about it. They're really not. They're absolutely not. They're doing a different thing entirely. That they may additionally be doing stuff that your brain is doing, but it will still be different. Like, it's still hugely modified how your brain does even the things you have overlap with, because of what we can't do, and how that changed the entire developmental trajectory of our brains. So, the thing that's important to do with this situation is to say that, like, what do you want to get out of your interactions with people? Like, what so there's your brain, right? And your brain, I'm going to argue, is like a local featural brain, and you're in a global configurational world. So you're surrounded by that. You could also think of this, I say, like, we're doing as building, and they're doing as arriving, or arriving is doing, building is doing, so when we do, we build. When they do, they arrive, they go places, and they're constantly navigating that in a way that we don't, or we can't, because we're impaired at it. Now that in of itself is a little black and white, the way that I've just described it, but that's the basic difference. Like, that's how you would categorize, this is why we aren't happening to behave in the same way. I think it's coming from that. So, but the world you're in is a doing as arriving world, and you have to be able to interface with it. It's just the reality, you know. Sounds like another way of what are we getting out of talking? No, well, I mean, what do you want to have happen? What do you want to have happen? Like, it's not what are you getting out of it? What do you want to have happen? Like, do you want them to walk away getting something positive out of the interaction? Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. You know, like really, like what, I mean this in the broadest sense possible. Like, what do you want to have happen? Like for example, do I want to feel comfortable? Yes. Like, do I want to go into situations where I'm comfortable? Yes, that's my goal. Okay. Or my goal, I'm going to move over a little bit to a new word, because goal is still, I'm trying to move away from movement oriented metaphors as much as I can, because there's some issues with that in our navigation. So let's say, what do I want to construct? What do I want to build? Okay, so what's the construction? What blueprint do I want to have in my head about what's going to get built here? That's what I'm asking, is like, what's the blueprint of the interaction? So it's not another way of saying, what are we getting out of talking to them? Because I think for some reason your brain is recursive on people being abusive. Like, it's like you're rephrasing that the way an abusive person would potentially phrase it, right? It really is much further away from that, what I'm trying to signify. And this may be hard, because I know that, like, I don't know why your brain does that, and I've known you at least long enough to know that there's something happening there that's locking it in so much. And I don't know what the solution is. I think your case is complex, and I say again, I'm a layperson. Take everything I say with like an entire like salt factory worth of salt. What is possible to happen? Both brains coexist at all times, regardless. Do you want me to agree with you? Shall we sit in a silence over a cup of tea and walk off, never speak again? Well, it's just. Wait, what? I'm confused. I got confused. I'm not sure. Is that a hypothetical? I mean, generally when two people meet. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if people are teaching. I don't know if people are seeking agreement necessarily when they're meeting up. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know if that framing is if that works. That feels too dichotomous. That appears too dichotomous to be the situation. I mean, in general, like, everything is a choice, right? Like, everything, it's like I could say this word or that word, I could look here or there. Once you pick one thing, everything else is eliminated. Yeah, but I don't think people are actually doing that. What really is the outcome? What do we want out of interaction? Well, it's what do we want out of it? What do you mean, what do we want out of it? What do you mean by out of it? Maybe that's the best way to try to take this apart a bit. Can you paraphrase that? Like, why are you saying out of it? What are we getting out of it? Achieve benefit from an undertaking. Achieve benefit. Oh, of course. The cosmetics company has this name, so I can't get the dictionary definition. Okay, that doesn't sound bad. So if we walk it back to a helpful or good effect, or something intended to help. So if we translate that all the way down, because it has kind of a negative sound to it, like, what do I get out of it? That sort of thing is how I hear that in the culture. So if we went with like a helpful or good effect or something intended to help, so then we would be like, let me translate that. How do we want to help? And how do we intend to help? And how do we intend to find help? And of good effect? Like, how do I, and Mr. Rogers would phrase that as like, how do I do this without, hurting myself or other people, and genuinely being a help to myself and my neighbors? Like, how can we be a help to myself and other people? Oh, that's a bridge phrase, like, we are chatting, we are friends, and we like, so I enjoy spending time with you and chatting. All I see on Twitch is judgment. I mean, I'm not judging, right? Like, it's not all you see, right? Not sure what I can offer others and be of good use or help. Well, no, I mean, I think, yeah, that's Mr. Rogers wants us to figure out how to be helpful to people, and to also appreciate helpful people. So that's why I think he's phenomenal, and a really, 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 really good resource for autistic people to look at seriously, even as adults. So if you're being a help to other people and you feel confident in it, that's a very good feeling. And also, we all can help in different ways. And I think if you see people helping in different ways, that can give you ideas. If you're not seeing helpful people, that's maybe not a good thing because of the recursive thing I was saying. So your brain may have decided that the world is full of unhelpful people and that it's impossible for people to help, which is not true. And it may be good for you to find like a helpful recursive interest person. I mean, Mr. Rogers is definitely that for me. If I'm not doing so good, I will watch a Mr. Rogers episode, and that's like the best way for me to get out of that right now. Or I'll talk to like ChatGPT, which also is just helpful. Like a ChatGPT is literally programmed to emphasize how helpful it is. So, yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know. But if you can grow from having that problem of lack of self-worth to a place of developing like a good sense of self-worth, that would be the growth you're looking for. That would be what would be helpful for you, right? So if your goal is to be a help to yourself and other people, and you're aware of this, which you are, then the helpful thing would be to find effective ways, genuinely effective ways to work on your self-worth, not other people's self-worth. It may be very different for you than stereotypical advice, which we can assume just because of neurodivergent reasons or reasons of neurodivergency. Is all of that making sense? Is that at all? I don't know how your alexithymia it works for you, but is that all at all? When I'm saying any of this, is this helping you to feel any more positive about the situation? Because that lets me know if I'm helpful. All right, and now I'm going to, so I have my schedule pretty much set. Okay, it does help. Good. Yes. Good. I'm glad to know that. Excellent. All right, cool. Okay, what's I gonna do about my schedule? Let's see. So, do I want to ask? Let me ask this one too. Okay, that's what it says. Okay. What does it think I should do? Given what we've reviewed. It might not have an opinion based on what we've said. You might start with a shorter duration for evening stream, such as 1.5 to 2 hours, then adjust based on your experience and feedback. Okay, that makes sense. Maybe 2 hours is a good length. Yeah. Okay. 2 hours might be good. What am I up to now? Hour and 21 minutes. Okay. Slightly lighter than your 3 hours, especially because of the different energy times in the evening. Okay. Maybe that's what I'll do, because, like, perhaps I can try it as an... Maybe I could do 1.5 hours in the mornings as an... what's the word I'm looking for? Not escalating. As a graduated length. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. Both the morning you can observe how your energy... Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. I'll do like 1.5 hours in the mornings, and then I'll do 2 hours in the evenings. So then I'll go for another 9 minutes just to like cap this off. Some of the things that help us feel of worth require someone to be unhelpful, so we're... Well, so there is always both sides, right? So I'm going to try to pass on what Vogel says to me a bit, but, you know, see Andrew Vogel for this explained properly, because it's his idea. Also crediting, but so you're also explaining, what do you call that, dialectics. Dialectics, right, where it's like the best way to think of dialectics is foreground background, in my opinion. That made the most sense of it. But you're saying like this is true, but this is also true, but they're not antithetical to each other. They don't cancel each other out. They're both existing. It's just that this one becomes the center point of focus. And what sounds like you're doing is like, well, if there's like a good thing and a bad thing, and the bad thing makes the good thing stand out more, if there's contrast, then it's bad that the good thing exists. It's like it sounds like you're just trying to say that like because something being positive can have a relationship to something negative, then all things are negative. Isn't it just as easy to say that because, you know, all things have relationships to positive things, that maybe in the end there's a point to all of this, and there's a positive? Like, why the negative bias rather than the positive bias? If like like, do you like, unless if you think like goodness is bad, like if goodness can never be good enough to not be bad, because it sounds like I wouldn't even say you have black and white thinking. It sounds like you just have like, it's just the dark side. Like everything is truly just the dark side in disguise, which, like, why can't everything be the light side in disguise? That's equally legitimate, right? Like that's as valid. Like in formal logic, both of those conclusions would be valid if you're going to make it, right? You'd have to argue for that. You know, like if your brain is apparently gonna pick one or the other, then why not pick the positive one? There's absolutely, if anything, that one would be slightly more likely, and I will tell you why I say this. So the quality of something being good, right, is more of a complete and larger container than the quality of something being bad. Because good is basically like the potential for creativity, and because time exists, the potential for creativity continues to exist. Like things can continue to be created. And if we're taking goodness as like the potential for something to be created that is helpful, then that exists because time exists. And even if time, which time does, time always decays things. Everyone's gonna die, cool, right? That's a feature of it, but then another thing gets created. So if we accept death and don't see that as a negative, then that makes it a little bit easier to like let go of this idea that everything is negative. We don't want to have death. Like, it's not like death is yay. No. But we can accept that, like, you know, we're trying to have it come at a natural time without destroying what was created, or doing something destructive and unhelpful when it's just not necessary. Like, since we know we're going to die anyway, let's try to make the best of it. But also, if you try to make the best of it, that's so many more opportunities for creating, like, and that's good. So like creativity, it just, as long as there's time, then what you might label as good is more robust and powerful than what you would label as bad. That isn't to say that people's lives don't end in horrible ways, but we're going to try to prevent as much as possible, and certainly prevent that for ourselves, by making choices that, like, affirm the creativity and protect creativity from unnecessary destruction, which is in itself a creative act. So again, then you have the scale is still tipping towards creativity and good. If we're going to tip the scale anywhere, it kind of just ends up there naturally. So if you're going to pick one or the other, they're not actually equal. The one that's heavier in the scales is actually the helpful good one, the creative helpful good one. Yeah, it's just like, if you broke this down into like a logical formula, it would be difficult, very difficult, to argue the antithetical to what I'm saying. Like, this one's a much stronger argument. It makes more logical sense. Yellow, hi, I'm hanging out. We have a new stream schedule again. I'll be back on, what did I say? Wednesday night and Thursday night. Yeah, I will. I'll be back. I don't know what time. Let me ask. Hold on. Any thoughts of time of evening to start to try? Anyways, yeah, so new schedule, ChatGPT is now helping me pick personal energy and routine. Reflect on your internal through the evening. When do you feel most alert and engaged? In fact, 6 o'clock would be nice. Okay, 6 p.m. maybe. Think about your target audience and their likely availability. Because then work indulge, time zone differences. Yeah, huh? The nature is trying to make reasonable based on these factors, and to open it just okay. My dear, 6 p.m. seems better. If I think about my energy levels, I feel like 7 is a bit late. It starts to feel like you might consider it's very important. This slot is off. Should have been beer when they're looking to relax and changes only time. Spend on their civic circle as audience. Yeah, if I do 6, I was thinking 7 at first too because I tried that before, but I'm gonna try 6. I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. How are you? I've been working on a lot of ideas and experienced some degree of burnout, I think, but that happens to me at times. Good. That's good. Yeah. But overall things are fine and good. I would say good. I would even venture to say good. There's stuff I have to do today. Certainly. Absolutely. But I will do it. I will do it. I need to do stuff. I need to do one thing. I'm going to do it off camera because I need to log into something. I need to put in my invoice for the work I did this week. Or last week too, I think. Actually, when did I last write an invoice? Uh-oh. Okay, let's find out. Okay, fashion curriculum, no. Oh, there's my invoice. Oh wow. Oh wow. Jeez, okay. Shit. Okay, so we had the 15th, the 1st, and the 8th we had off, I think. Is that right? That sounds right. Wait, is that right? I don't know. Okay, no, I had one of these, one of them we had off. I don't remember which one. I know I worked last week, and I think I actually worked the week before that. Wait, hold on. Yes, okay, because he came in, and then, yeah, then I had the first, okay, I got it. I know what I'm doing. No. I got it. Oopsie. Oh, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? Okay, weird. Fashion design class. Also, I've been playing Fashion Dreamer, and I freaking love it, and I think I'm very good at it because, of course, I am. Like, I literally teach people fashion, so yeah. It's been a special interest for a long time. I'm self-taught, but I'm good. One time I went to a workshop for musicians. That was like a career development thing I was chosen to be part of. That was pretty cool. Don't know if it helped me a ton, but it was still really cool. Anywho, they had a fashion consultant and personal stylist lady come in, and she just sat down and she's like, "You're fine. You want to know about fashion trends that are coming up?" And I was like, "Yep." So she just gave me industry insider information, and then I left. It was great. She was just like, I have no feedback, negative feedback for you. Good work. Oops, I'm didn't label this correctly. Okay, so I did that. I have stuff I need to do today. $11, $21. Okay. So I'm gonna go work on that. Do you still do music? I do. I do still do music. I have a lot of stuff that's coming out. Thanks for reminding me of that, because I need to set the release date on this album. Maybe I'll just do it January 1st. That might be the what day of the week is that? Oh, it's a Friday? No. That's December. December 1st is a Friday. Oh no, shit, it is a Friday. No, wait, December 1st is a Friday. No, it's not, sorry. It's a Monday. Woohoo. Fuck it. Let's have a Monday release. Or I do the 29th of December. I don't know. Maybe the 29th of December would be good. Okay, anyways, yes, I do music. And I'll do more streams about music too, and like rapping and all that stuff. I've been doing actually really well. I've been winning a whole bunch of competitions. Like a lot, which is great. And yeah, that's it. All right, let me see if I have a very small viewership because I've been gone a lot, but I will see if we can raid somewhere. Also, I forgot to monitor my YouTube chat. I assume nobody's in here. Somebody said hi like a million years ago, but that's okay. I'm not good at responding to chat there yet. I'll figure out how to do that. Okay, that's everything. And thank you for coming.